Donald Trump's big speech is tonight. It's not the State of the Union, but the presidential address. And Republicans are these fucking people. These people, man. Nancy Mace last night went on, was interviewed, and we'll get to that. We'll get to how she talked about how she got teary-eyed and cried as she listened to Donald Trump practice his speech. Oh, we're all going to be emotional when Donald Trump gives his speech. But we're going to get to that. But I really want to impress upon Democrats who might be watching this. I'm assuming most of you are Democrats or liberals or lean Democrat. I would really want you to call your representative and forcefully, aggressively, pointedly, let them know that you don't want them to attend. Or if they're going to attend, do something theatrical, dramatic to send a message to Donald Trump and Republicans that they're not going to be playing these games. They will not act as though it's business as usual in Washington, D.C. and in the United States of America. If they're going to show up, all dressed the same, stand up at the same time once Donald Trump starts talking, interrupt the proceedings by quietly filing out, one by one, leaving their seats. That's what needs to happen. And the way you can do that and communicate to your congressperson is to call the Capitol switchboard, which is 202-224-3121. We have a dedicated graphic for this very thing because I'm going to be talking about this number and you should memorize it. You should program this phone number into your phone. 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. For a limited time only. Hopefully a limited time only. But here's Nancy Mace. And seriously, if there was a shameless shill who has just degraded herself, it's Nancy Mace. Just an absolute clown show. If you thought that it was Marjorie Taylor Greene who had no shame, no dignity, you'd be correct. But the level of theatrics and nonsense that come from Nancy Mace that are only a self-aggrandizing, only to be an attention-seeking clout-chaser, there's no benefit for the American people. There's no legislative agenda behind what she does. There's no messaging other than, look at me, look at me, look at me. So here she is really signaling to Donald Trump, I've been around, I've been to Mar-a-Lago, I'm a pal, I'm a friend, I'm a member of the cult. And then also signaling that his speech was so moving and patriotic. She got tears in her eyes like a big, strong lady who graduated from the Citadel and everything else. Anyway, watch this. And really, if you're eating, finish chewing and swallow. If you're drinking something, make sure you're not. There will definitely be a spit take with this one. Watch Nancy Mace just debase herself.
Well, I spent some time with the president, a little bit of time this weekend with the president at Mar-a-Lago. I've heard parts of this speech, and I will tell you, I teared up at one point. I think we will all laugh, we will all cry, and we will all question what the heck has been going on the last 4 years, and how did we get into this position? And I think it's going to be a great speech for the American people, a pro-America speech, putting our citizens and our nation first. Finally, we have a leader. We had to go through 4 awful years to understand what's at stake here and how Donald Trump's going to lead us out of this mess.
I don't know what's going on there, and this is petty and doesn't really matter, but she's got Kimberly Guilfoyle mouth going on there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about these Republican ladies and what kind of a procedure they go through that just stretches their... It's not great. But something struck me while she was speaking there, and that is... Isn't it just bizarre? I mean, the answer is yes, it is bizarre. It's a rhetorical question, but isn't it just bizarre? Imagine if every weekend Joe Biden or Barack Obama had left Washington to go to wherever, and then all of the Republicans chased them down and follow them. Now, that wouldn't happen because no president has ever run a resort or a country club type thing where people go there and spend money to stay there just to be in the orbit of Donald Trump or the president. It wouldn't happen. It would be weird and gross, and we would be justifiably outraged, and Republicans would be justifiably outraged if every weekend was a money-making opportunity for whatever president. But because it's Donald Trump, and he is a cult leader who owns a country club-style place, it's A-okay that we, the people, fund the Secret Service to stay there, the White House staff to stay there. Donald Trump makes millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every single day. Every hour of his presidency is just a cash register. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And Republicans are absolutely okay with it because they have no principles. They have no morals. They have no North Star guiding them relative to what is proper behavior of a president. As evidenced by what Nancy Mace just said and did. That she got teary-eyed from Donald Trump's... Imagine listening to anything Donald Trump, any word that's ever fallen out of his stupid fucking face, and you said to me, wow, that was a real moving moment from Donald Trump. You must be a member of the cult to feel like that, to have warped and twisted your perception of reality to the point that you think Donald Trump is some gifted orator. Of all the presidents we've had, think of the talented orators, the people, even Ronald Reagan, the great communicator, they called him. Debatable. Bill Clinton, debatable. But they make Donald Trump look like the toddler that he is relative to communication. Donald Trump has a third or fourth grade level acuity with the language he uses. But Nancy Mace was brought to tears. Oh, we're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to puke. It's going to be great tonight. But the overarching message, I think, is that we need to communicate to Democrats that don't show up. Do not show up. Do not stand, rise, and clap for the President of the United States who is acting unconstitutionally on a daily basis, who's shredding our Constitution, who is acting as though, after he declared himself in the White House, declared him a king. Long live the king, as he promotes the idea, and members of Congress promote the idea of a constitutional amendment to allow him to run for a third term. It isn't business as usual. This isn't routine times, elected Democrats. Stiffen your spine. Become the opposition party. Don't drift right. Don't drift to a moderate position. Now is the time for resistance. Now is the time to find some sense of being radicalized within you and defend your constituencies. If not that, actually live up to your oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, to defend the document and the ideals contained therein against all enemies, foreign, you know what comes next, and domestic. You took an oath, a solemn, sacred vow. If you're religious, you did it before God. Are you going to live up to your word? What do you think? Please call the Capitol Switchboard. There's still time to get the message across to members of Congress that you don't want them there. 202-224-3121. Once again, for a limited time, 202-224-3121. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you called. You can call my voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. You can comment below and let me know. That would be fantastic. And if you want to help support this work, help me produce these videos, I would appreciate that very much. Independent media, very much under attack right now. You can click the join button below for $1.99, become a channel member after you've subscribed. Subscribing is free. That's going to cost you the channel membership thing. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I appreciate you very much. We'll see what happens tonight. I won't be watching, but we'll see. Be genuine. Take care of one another.